It is time to start, and we can't be late. Goodness. Welcome. It is my privilege today to introduce Angel Lopez. And many of you are already familiar with Angel, but let me just say, Angel is a new mission partner with Hope Church. And as some of you know, he's an ordained RCA minister just down the street at Third Reformed. And he's also an RCA missionary associated with the Frontera de Gracia, the border of grace, in Ciudad Juarez.
Juarez, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, you can correct my pronunciation.
No, it's okay.
I'm just not great with it. Yep, but he's going to tell us more about that today. If you picked up or you saw the articles, we put the links in the Friday church email, and there's also a couple copies printed in the back that you're welcome to pick up along with Angel's prayer card. But if you picked that up and if you read the article, Encountering Grace at the Border, you will know that Angel was born in Chiapas, Mexico. And it says, resonates deeply with the immigrants he meets from his own experiences as a child, living away from home and parents, navigating multiple languages, and his own immigration story to Canada and the United States. And he delights in being a father to two amazing daughters and a husband to Janelle, who's also an RCA minister. So welcome. We look forward to hearing the story. Thank you.
Thank you. Buenos dias. Good morning. Thank you for having me here. Really, thank you. It's a privilege to go and visit other churches and to just shake hands or fist bump or hugs. So it's an honor to be here. This morning I'm going to talk about Frontera de Gracia. Frontera de Gracia means border of grace. Border of Grace is located in across from El Paso, Texas. El Paso, or El Paso, Texas, is right there. So I'm going to talk about Frontera de Gracia. It is a border town. It's a border city, two big cities, and that's where our ministry of Frontera de Gracia is located. What do we do? Basically, is to provide basic care for those waiting at the border. That's it. To provide basic care for those waiting at the border. That's what we do. Nothing more, nothing else. And every day, it's almost the same challenge. Men, women, and children are crossing the border, and we're trying to be there with them, for them. We cry with them. We get mad with them. We walk with them. We eat with them. We spend the night with them. So that's what we do. One of the things that I want to make sure you understand this morning is the close proximity of this of El Ciudad Juarez and El Paso. Imagine you live in Holland, Michigan, and Zeeland, and in the middle of it, there is a wall. That is Ciudad Juarez and El Paso. Can you imagine that? So every single day, you will wake up and you will see the wall. Either you're in El Paso, in English you will say, oh, there's the wall. In Spanish, está la frontera. Every single day. So imagine if you're an immigrant from Cuba, from Ecuador, from South Africa, you're waiting at the border. 3 days, 3 months, 3 years. You wake up and you see the border. What this image will do to you, to your mind, to your heart, to your children, when they ask, when are we crossing the border? When are we moving? When are we crossing to the river? And then we go to the other side. So I want to make sure that this is when you arrive in El Paso, you take an Uber and you go to one of the 5 bridges in El Paso, and you will see, you will go to the bridges of Las Americas, the Americas bridge. From there, you will walk, we'll wait for you, we'll take another car, another Uber, and you will go to Frontera de Gracia. That's it, 15 minutes. So something happened at the border, you go back to the border. So that's why it's, for me, important to start imagining that close proximity. The border. And you're wondering how we say the border in Spanish. We say la frontera or la línea. La línea means the line. So that's how in the map you will see the line. That's the border. If you wonder, for those who love images like me, I need to know where is la frontera. By the way, this is Chiapas, where I'm come from. I grew up here, and then you go to Ciudad Juárez. If you are a person who likes to, you pay attention to distance, what is far, what's close, what it's, so you wonder if from Chiapas, if you cross from Guatemala, if you're an immigrant, cross from Guatemala and you go to Chiapas, Tabasco, Veracruz, San Luis Potosí, Puebla, and then you go here to Matamoros. That's the closest trip that you can do, right? Or if for some circumstances of life, you go to Mexico City and you go all the way to Tijuana, because in California you have some friend, a family, and you go there. So that's the farthest part of the border. And the border actually is about 19,000 miles. It's long, it's huge. But our ministry at Frontera de Gracia started in early 2019. By Cubans. We have Cubans in this area. We had about every day we see 6,000 Cubans there, 10,000 Cubans, 30,000 Cubans. And then now imagine on the street, people sleeping. So a member from our church decided to do something about it. So we say, why don't we invite them to church or to our house, and then, just given the space for them to sleep. Ciudad Juárez is a desert place. It's cold at night, and it's hot during the day. So let's go and invite them to the church. And that's where this ministry started. Again, why people, instead of going to Matamoros, to Reynosa, Piedras Negras, or on Coahuila, they went to Ciudad Juárez. Here's the thing. Ciudad Juárez, when you see this border, you need to also see that the border is owned by the cartel people. Really, by the police, by the army, but not by the people. If in 2019, this is what happened. In 2019, the cartel of Golfo, el cartel del Golfo, they said, no immigrants will pass through it. We will kill you, or you're going to work for us. So it's up to you. Okay? Cartel de Tijuana said, same thing. Here, you not pass. We have enough of you, immigrants. So you will not pass from here. So el cartel de Sinaloa over here said, nope, you are not going to pass through this line. And then make sure, if you pass it, you die. And also the cartel, there is a cartel from San Luis Potosí, this area, Coahuila. So those cartels really are the ones who control the border. They have money, they have guns from the United States, really good, and have killed anybody, United States citizen or Mexican. Those guns are for that purpose. And except in 2019, except el cartel de Juárez said, no problem, you can come to our border, no problem. How do we know this? How do we know this? Technology have helped us a lot. Technology, somebody from Cuba, they say, hey, compañeros, don't go to Matamoros, don't go to Tijuana, go in the middle, go to Ciudad Juárez. And that's how we connect. And this information is from on-site. It's not from the news. It's like, can we cross to Ciudad Juárez? And everybody knew. So that's why in 2019, we have a lot of Cubans in Ciudad Juárez. There is more to it, but I will continue. So, because I want you to answer your question at the end. So this is Ciudad Juárez. So the other things I want to make sure you to know is that these two cities, Ciudad Juárez and El Paso, Holland and Zeeland, right there, has become, for me and for a lot of people who watch closely the border, has become the crossroad of the world. Anybody who wants to cross the border has to cross that way, through Ciudad Juárez, through the border, through Tijuana, to Matamoros, Piedras Negras, all this border. But crossroad of the world, for me, is Ciudad Juárez and El Paso. That close proximity help us, or help the immigrants to think about Ciudad Juárez. The political instability in countries like Cuba, Nicaragua, Venezuela, now Chile, Ecuador, Peru, all these countries. And then on top of that, you put COVID. On top of that, I don't know if you believe in climate change. Things are changing in the world. And then the war in Europe. We have people in Ciudad Juárez crossing from South Africa, from Ukraine, from Russia. So these cities, this place have become the crossroad of the world. So we have people from all over the world, literally. Sometimes, again, technology helps us to find out what language this person speaks, because we don't know sometimes. I have no idea. So, and this is me trying to pull the wall. I couldn't. Very, very hard, very hot. So one of the things that you would do if you visit us in Ciudad Juárez is to go and touch the wall right away. You know Pastor Nate Skipper and Amanda Munro. I think I said properly her last name, Munro. So they were there. They were there at the border. The border, this is interesting. If you've never been at the border, you always think, I always thought, that it was a wall without doors. But actually, every 2 miles, there's a door. And every door has a number. This is door 42. So when we said door 40, door 39, that's what it means, that there is a door. And door 40 and 47 and 48 are right now are immigrants waiting to cross the United States right now, this Sunday. Today is Sunday, right? Yeah. When we think about crossroad of the world, this is what I mean. This is United States and this is Mexico. You can almost touch it, but don't touch it. This, you see nice cars, beautiful building. Sometimes you see banks, schools, and you are from this side and you wonder what's going on the other side. That is Mexico. This is the image you have. What do you call this? Wire? Razor wire. All over there. So you can see. So that's Mexico. It's an X, which means Mexico for us. That's how close we are. Zeeland and Holland. That's one of the bridges in Ciudad Juarez. One side is Mexico, the other side is United States. Here is where you will see people smiling because they finally are crossing the border. So they go through this bridge and they are received by the U.S. Patrol. Here is where you see people crying really, really hard because on the other side of the road is being deported. So here is where you see emotion. You get in or you get out. These are the people who wants to cross the border. Men, women, and children, a lot of children. Sometimes in Frontera de Gracia, in our church, we have 50% are children and 50% are adults. A lot of women, a lot of men, and they have crossed all the Darien jungle. So they are the ones who cross it. And finally, they are there, trying to cross the border. This is the Zócalo. Waiting. I don't know what they're waiting. They know. They're waiting to cross, but they don't know when and how. Here is where the work of cartel are very important for, in the plaza, you will go to the plaza and you will say, hey, how long you been here? 3 weeks, 3 months. Hey, if you have $10,000, we can cross you tonight. You say, well, I've been here 4 months and I'm desperate to cross the United States and to work really hard and to send money to my country, to my wife and daughter. How much you say? 10,000. Okay, can you do it less than that? Well, if you find another guys among them, 5 of them, we can give you half of the price. That's USA dollar, 5,000. Where do you find $5,000? Even $1,000, where do you find it? But somehow, there are people here very desperate to cross the border. People from all over the country, all over the continent, waiting. This is one of our car. We bring clothes, food to our people on the street. This is our people providing bread, coffee, milk, and most of our volunteers from our church are also immigrants, so they serve immigrants, serving immigrants too. So with your support, we provide all that. Something to eat. People on the street, they have something to eat. In the good days, we make tacos. And they love tacos, except chiles. It's very spicy for them. A lot. I find out the only Mexican, we love a lot of spice in our tacos. They don't. So that's really good. And they love rice too. We love rice. So this is one of the door. So after you wait and wait and wait in the city, finally somehow you can cross a little bit and you stay in this area, just really, really close to the wall. And then you have to wait there 3-4 days a week. And finally, when the USA Patrol say yes or no, there's 2 things that will happen. You will enter, you will stay, you remain in the United States, or you will be deported almost instantly. So if you wait for 3 months or 4 months, and you're lucky to enter, there's a very chance that you're going to be deported. Out of 1,000 will remain probably 5, 10 people. So imagine this desperation. I could be one of those 10 people. So you go and stay there, and you say, it's better for me to try than just to wait and wait and wait. So you do it, and many, many, many times you are deported. But we don't have a chance to go back, and you will try it again and again and again. This human spirit that they're trying again is here being tested at the border. It's really, really hot, so we have water here, and it's windy, and it's a lot of dust. So it's really, really hard. Stay there for 5 days, 6 days. So that's the border. At night, people, our capacity in a small church, actually our church is the size of this room. Our capacity is to have probably 49, 51 people to sleep. Men, children, that's what we have. That's what we give. And then the other side is the kitchen. And in the kitchen, we prepare food for all of them. But a lot of them are not able to get into shelters. There is about 22 shelters in Ciudad Juarez. But having too many people there's no way that we can absorb those. So a lot of them are sleeping on the street. And we visit them, especially the children. We give something to eat as well. So this is life in Ciudad Juarez. Always mom taking care of the children, making sure they're clean. That's my brother. He's handsome, muy guapo. He's the oldest. I always say I'm guapo. So I always say I'm guapo. So that's the life in the border. You will see this in the news right now, cycle news at the train. This is one of the train. So that's where on the top of the train you will see a lot of immigrants arriving in Ciudad Juarez. And that's me. I want to be quiet for a moment, and if you can, I hope you can hear it well. You will not hear a lot of things, but it's just the wind moving. But here's what happened. In the middle of all this, that's where Frontera de Gracia is located. That's where we are. Frontera de Gracia provides food, clean water, safe place. if you are outside and you're a Cuban, or if you are from Guatemala, the cartel will take you, mostly because you have a family members in the United States can pay a ransom. So you're lucrative, so you're in danger. So we provide, with the church, we provide a safe place for those who are, at least 50 of them, okay, you can sleep here. If somebody comes around 12, 1 a.m. and they are looking for some place to sleep, we open the door, get in, and the next morning has to find a safer place because we can't. There's no more space in a little space. Bathroom. There is no bathroom in Ciudad Juarez like we have here. You go to McDonald's, you go to a gas station, you go and say, hey, I'm buying a gum, and you go to the bathroom. There's not such things there. So we provide bathroom, and we provide also medicines. My brother is also a nurse. Sometimes we have women who, they need to go to the doctor because of the baby, they're pregnant. So we have a connection with doctors there that will provide their space, the service. During the COVID, we have 62 new babies because they were waiting, waiting. So 62 new Mexicans at the border, but finally they crossed here and they suffer. And all that in hope in Jesus Christ. We're serving here, providing this, and so one thing you will see here. This is Frontera de Gracia, and tell me when is it time to Q&A, please. I love to talk. This is Frontera de Gracia, and this is our sanctuary. Our sanctuary is the place where we put with mattresses, where people sleep, where people spend the night. This same space on Sunday, today, we move everything, we put chairs, those cool chairs there. They're awful, back. We put it there, and that's the service. That's the sanctuary. Worship. We worship on Sunday, and then after the worship, we move everything, and we put all the beds again, and the mattresses again, and then became a sanctuary again, in a different way. So that's the place. Of course, the cartel have come and visit us too. There are crazy times sometimes, but not lately. Just very short story about this. A lot of they just got married in Frontera de Gracia. Why? A lot of couples in all Central America, also in South America, they don't have a marriage certificate. So when you cross to the border and you say, well, she's my wife and that's my husband. Okay, show me. They don't have a certificate there. So one of the services that we provide is to find, there's a civil wedding and religious wedding. So if the couple say, we are a couple, we're expecting a baby, and we are afraid to be separated at the border, please help us to get a marriage certificate. We do this in Frontera de Gracia. Please don't say to anybody that we do this, please. Might get in trouble. But that's part of our protest. We want people to be together. And they have help, and they have asked to do that. One thing also, we don't force anybody to go to the church. There's 50 people there. So on Sunday, Mexicans will come and have the service. But then, if you want to come to the church, it's fine. If not, that's fine too. Okay? If you're wondering about that. This is the kitchen, and this is where bigger space than that. So where we make food. And this is the last group that we decided to take picture with them. They're very happy to take picture with the gringos. Yeah. And I hope it didn't offend anybody. I love you. And that's me. And if you want to visit us, we have for you a learning trip to the border. It's happened twice I take 3 trips, but it happened twice during the year. One is in April, first week of April, and the other 1 or 2 trips in November. This November, I take in 2 groups, one from Fellowship Reformed Church, and the other group is from Intersection Ministries. They're going to the border. And just to experience, to walk in the bridge, to touch the wall, and to be with the people. So if you have questions, please let me hear it. So this is where the bridge is. We walk. Of course, we have take youth. The youth have a different mind, and they take pictures of that, which I like it. And so we let them take a lot of pictures. I hope I didn't. I hope we have a little bit of space of time Q&A. There's more to it. There's more stories, but I want to hear your impression if you have any questions.
And we are being recorded, so ask your questions with that in mind. Comments? David?
I'm David. Thank you, Miguel. Could you explain what the cartels are? How large are they as an organization? Are they like mafia on a small scale? And how do they get people across the border if they can offer that?
Oh, the size of it, we don't know. But we know that you can find, they been helped by the federal government. You find cartel people in the federal government, state government, and the municipal. They have a lot of money, so they own, in the transportation, you don't know if this person who's transporting people are working for the cartel, this taxi driver is working for a cartel or not. So we don't know, but it's huge. Our impression is that it's huge. However, one of the things that you ask is how that works. When you cross one, the impression is that cartel owns the border in the Mexico side. But how is that they can make sure that one person cross the border? I have to be honest. We have a cartel also in the American side. The Border Patrol worked for the cartel many times. We have seen it. For example, a Cuban, they say, well, I'm crossing tonight at 12. Oh, let's put 1 p.m. So they say, well, you have to be in this place in Ciudad Juarez at 12:30. At 1 p.m., you have to be close to the door 42. Those doors, they also have a small door, a tiny one. For some reason, the other side of that door is unlocked at 12:59. It's unlocked in the USA side. Unlocked. No Mexicans are allowed to enter there. But the patrol is the only people who can open the door. And that's how it's able to cross, people to cross there. So there is 2 teams are working for that. And if you is still not challenged, but the reality that it's not just Mexican that are allowing immigrants there, it's also very lucrative for the cartel and American cartels working at the border. That's how it works. You need a team, and that's how it works, as far as we know.
Yeah, related to that, you mentioned that the cartels on the Tijuana and the Gulf of Mexico side have that closed off, and that's why Juarez is the only place allowed. Why are the cartels cutting that off if this is a source of revenue, potentially, as it is in Juarez?
Yeah, this is when in 2019 that's happened. 2019 happened. Right now, all the cartels are welcome immigrants because they find out that it's more lucrative to, you don't plant people, you don't harvest people. No, you don't work for the product. So right now, all the cartels are welcome immigrants because through them, they can pass anything they want. So in 2019 was a mistake, if we can put it that way, for the other cartels, except for the Cartel de Juarez. But now, come in. You can cross whatever you want through immigrants. And so immigrants who are desperate, they have no $5,000. But if you can cross this backpack, we don't know what's in it, but it costs, I don't know, 100, double or triple of the paycheck for immigrants. So if you cross this backpack, you go for free. So you will see cartel is not exposed to anything like that. So they're using immigrants to do that. So you had a question here. And then we can go to the other side.
Dawn, Angel, when people come to spend the night with you, my impulse, if I were an immigrant, would be, all right, I've got a safe place, I'm not leaving, and I would just want to stay there. But do people leave every day to go get in line somewhere, and then a different 50 come that night, or does people come and stay for a while until their turn is in line?
Yeah, they stay. So anybody, we have people staying with us 1 day, and the longest has been 3 years. They can stay there. And our location is really cool because anybody can work during the day. You know, we allow them to work, but to sleep and, you know, to go to the bathroom. We have the same problem that we have here in Holland. We have no affordable houses. So if you want to afford something, you shake your hands with the devil, basically, with the cartel, because they own houses too, and they charge you a lot, and you are not allowed to say no more. So the church will not charge that. You know, they will stay as long as they can. And there's 2 ways to cross the border right now. One is through an app called CBP1. If you get an app and you finally say, well, the United States is welcome you on October 10, you know that this couple will leave on October 10. We make sure that they go, we'll transport them to to the bridge, and then they go by themselves. The other one is a lot of Venezuelans are taking, because there are a huge group, they go and stay in one of those doors, just putting pressure to the USA Patrol. Eventually, after 3 days, seeing people, a woman suffering, they will open the door at 2 a.m., 3 a.m., or in the middle of the day, 2 p.m., you know. So, but they have to put pressure. But like I said, if you cross that way, if we have 1,000 people crossing, probably 10 people will stay. The rest will be deported. So that's your risk. Yeah. But we can have people as long as we are able to do it. Yeah. But desperation after 5 days, you know, like I want to cross. It's immense because you see the border right there every day. Go ahead.
This is probably a silly question, but have you noticed people that have been deported and then come back repeatedly at your place?
Yeah. We are connected through them, through WhatsApp. And people went and say, I'm done. I've been here for five months. I need to go. I'll try it. And they go. They turn themselves, which is legal. You turn yourself. You don't go through the cartel roads. You say, I'm here. And they say, well, okay, come in. And then later on, we hear through text saying, and I'm back to Colombia. I'm here in Colombia. I'm here in Guatemala. I'm here in Honduras, Nicaragua. I didn't make it. I'm here in Guatemala. But a lot of Venezuelan have been deported in Mexico City or Chiapas. Hey, Angel, I'm here in Mexico City. I got deported. This is my 2nd time. This is my 3rd time. So, but there's no option. You owe a lot of money in your country to make that trip. Or your family needs that money and your family is in need. So you would try and you would try and you would try. Till someday you're lucky that you're going to stay there. To come here to Holland, this is the place. You're in heaven now, if you don't believe it.
I'm Joyce, and a couple questions. One is that you mentioned earlier about the cartels coming in and either killing, like if they didn't want them to go through, killing people, and also putting them into slavery. And maybe a comment on that. Are those folks who are killed, do they ever find the bodies? And have you ever been threatened by the cartel with your group?
See. Oh, it's a lot of questions there. Okay. Let's start with we've been threatened by cartel. One of the reasons we don't charge any of our service. Right now we say if you want to give 100 pesos, it's like $3 to the immigrant community. Say, well, you've been working now. If you want to provide 100 pesos, welcome, but it's optional. Why? The cartel does the same thing. They have houses, and they charge. And they own this land, they own these warehouses, and they say, nobody in the radius here can do the same thing. This is our product. Remember that. The church, the small church, this is the children of God. Our faith calls us to do something, Matthew 25. And we give food, water, bathrooms, safe place to sleep. Okay? But we cannot charge. In 2019, we have the cartel coming into our church. They threat Samuel with the gun right here in su cabeza, with their head. And the cartel, not the real boss, but somebody there say, are you the boss here? And Samuel said, yes, I am. They ask it again, are you the boss here? And I say, yes, I am. Okay, are you sure you are the boss? Because the third time, that was the last one. Yes, I am. How much do you charge here? And I said, nothing. I'm a pastor and we're a Christian congregation and we do this because we want to do it. In the name of Jesus. Okay, in the name of Jesus, oh, cool. So there were Cubans there inside. Mexican and Cubans, we don't see a lot of guns. We see guns is because the police have raised something. We're afraid of guns. I think American, believe it or not, they can hold a gun here. Somehow you're more used to it. We don't. Really, I haven't touched a gun in my life, really. So, okay. The other four guys went with their guns, with the AK-47, and this was at 10 a.m. 10 a.m., imagine, 10 a.m. going to this church on Friday. And some people were still sleeping, and the guy said, hey, you, how much do you pay here? They say, nothing. How much do you pay here? And they went to the 45 people there that morning. How much is this man charging you? And every single one, thank God, every single one said, nada, nothing. And then they came back. Samuel was on the street in Ciudad Juarez. That was in 2019. Things have changed a lot. And they said, well, boss, they say that they are not being charged by this church. Okay. They didn't kill us that day. None of us. So after that, we'll learn that we were protected by God, and we will not charge. And our protest will be not to charge. But that's how we need people at churches to help us, to provide food for them. Otherwise, it's impossible for us. So that's one of the questions. And right now we have threats. Every time we have threat by phone. And we have learned, like when you learn the first time they scare you on the phone, you say, hey, I'm the IRS. And then finally you say, well, really? After 2-3 years, and then say, oh, we're a cartel from here. Oh, good. And we're gonna charge you for so much, $10,000 every month for protection. Good luck. See ya, bye. So we have learned to live in the power of God. If you still believe that, at the border, as a members of this congregation, as a member of Children of God, we say, God, welcome. Life or death, we're ready. So since that day, we're living in that freedom. Say, if they kill us, they kill us. If not, it's okay. So finally, we're at peace with the Cartel de Juarez. They know us. One good ending about this story is that in the last Christmas, the guy who was putting the gun, my brother, his mother came to our church for Christmas dinner. And he recognized that. And the same guy lives in the neighborhood. I was like, man, yeah, he's the guy who take care of this neighborhood. That was the one who came. And if you go with us, don't be afraid. We'll introduce you to him. No, I'm just kidding. Don't be afraid. They know us, that we do this in the name of Jesus, and they don't bother us anymore. So, and we're safe. There's another question somewhere right here.
Yes, my name is Nancy Scudder, and I'm a visitor here. But when you talk about borders, in my mind, there are many other borders that need to be raised to people's understanding. There's borders between Israel, Palestine, and you said something about Jerusalem. There's borders in Cyprus. So, I mean, I'm a third culture kid, but my culture is is the Middle East. Mm-hmm. And certainly there are many border problems in the Middle East.
Amen. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of borders, tons of borders. I cannot tell you how many borders are in Latin America, but because we're talking about actual borders, I will say one more thing about that, or two things. One is an immigrant from Cuba, for example, crossed about 12 borders, actual borders, from actual countries. And then they have to cross the borders of culture, language, and also there are, and this is to give a perspective. It seems that this last border, Ciudad Juarez and El Paso, is the last border for everyone to get into heaven, to the American dream. I'm not joking. That's how we see it. But the entire Mexico is a huge border. So they said to me, if Darien, I heard this last week, Darien is a terrible place. It's a terrible jungle to cross. Horrible. Lots of people had died there. They said, everybody who are here right now in Holland, they said, I would rather cross Darien 10 times than Mexico. Mexico has become, from Chiapas to Ciudad Juarez, a border to deter, is that correct? Immigrants. So this is not actually a border, it's the entire city, the entire country, every single thing. It's something that will stop you to cross. So if you are in Ciudad Juarez, there's no option than to cross, and you will wait. And the reason also, and that's directed to your question, the reason also why we start with Cubans in Mexico is because Mexicans and Cubans, they don't get along, right? They don't get along. They were very different from us. Culturally, their music, their food, everything is different. We speak the same language. So, all the shelters were filled with immigrants from Latin America, except with Cubans. So the Cubans were outside, the outsider. So if there's a ladder in there, the Cubans were at the bottom. So Frontera de Gracia decided that was not right. So that would start our ministry with Cubans, because that's another border that we needed to cross. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Linda, and about 5 years ago, I fostered some kids. My question is, how many kids travel by themselves with no adult? And what protects them from, we couldn't ask our kids questions like that. We were warned not to. How do they stay safe? They have no parents. They don't have family around them. They're 13, 14, 15, pretty girls.
Yeah. This is the hardest ministry in that sense. And personally, it's the most difficult part of the ministry. My brother and I, we were orphans at 10 and 11. We had no parents. They're still alive, but we were moved to another place. So our heart is with children. During COVID, we rescued 2 little girls. One was 11, and the other one was 13 years old. So my brother was delivering food. This was last year, actually, delivering food to immigrants near to a hotel. And then there was 2 little girls. We saw them, and they came down, and they say, "Could you spare a bread for us?" And my brother Samuel said, "Sure, come on." And he asked, "Where are your parents?" "No, my uncle is here, but it's not here." "Okay, you can have some food." But the minute they talk, we realize these children are not from Ciudad Juarez. These children are from Chiapas, from my town, because their accent and the way they talk and the way they walk and the way they ask and the way and their everything is like they are not from here. So we dig in a little bit more, and they said, "Where are your parents?" "No, my uncle is not here." At the end of the day, we didn't let them go to the hotel again. And we asked them, "Do you have a phone to connect with your uncle?" And in fact, they have a phone. We called the Child Protection, but in Mexico, services. Yeah, we have another police for children, and that's how we protect them. We call the police, and they find out that they were transporting these 2 little girls, same age as my daughters. I have 2 daughters, to the United States. We don't know for which reason, but we can imagine. They call us back later on. The police said, "You need Samuel," my brother was there, "Samuel, hire your truck, hire yourself, because the cartel or the gang that's doing this job, this kind of horrible job, is going to look for you." And so by saving those 2 little girls, we closed everything for 2 months. We didn't use our car because we know that's real. They can come and kill us as well, just to do that. And then how many of them are in danger? We don't know. If you're women from Brazil, Colombia, you're in danger because you're beautiful, and your beauty will be the reason that will kidnap you. I preached the other day here, the other Sunday. There is somewhere in Mexico that we have right now 500 people being kidnapped by the cartel. Right now. How is that the army, Mexican army, the USA army cannot cut these delinquents? The cartel has a lot of money. Yeah. I'm sorry, but this is what we're dealing with. So are we good for time? There's one more question over there.
Yeah, my name is Ruth,
Hi,
and
Ruth.
my question is kind of a big picture question, and I know you only have about a minute to answer this. So, one idea that you would give our legislators, if you could, regarding the immigrant situation.
Give us the option to have temporal visas to work here. If you talk to the immigrants one day when you are a really good friend, you eat with them, you hear the story, and this is Angel, your good friend, your buddy, they will tell you, I want to leave home. I want to go home. I want to work here for a year, and I want to go home. I want to smell the hair of my wife. I want to play. I want to go to the river. I just want to go home and stay home. But when you cross here and you spend $20,000 to get into the United States, and you know if the moment you leave, you lost everything. So if we can get the legislature to say, we want to give work visas with Social Security number, which is the visa, to declare your taxes. Here's 1 year for you, legally. You take the bus, you take the flight, you go there, you Holland to Magna, you work for a year, you go back. That's it. We don't want to stay here, really. People say they want to take your job. No, we don't want to take your job. It's very difficult. It's complicated. You're making a lot of cars. Okay, let's make more cars, but let me go. Let me go back to my country. The people of Israel wanted to go to Babylonia. No, they don't want to go to Babylon. They say, but God says you're going to stay 70 years. Okay, fine, but we're going to go back. The heart of the immigrants wants to go back too. I believe if I take you to Chiapas, and you have no option to go, to stay, to go back here, it will be hard for you to stay in Chiapas for a long time. You want to go back to Holland, to the restaurant, to the people. Same here. That will be my answer for you and for your legislator. One more? No more?
Thank you. Oh, do you have a one? Oh, Bob's going to grab it.
Dawn again. Tell me something about, I think of my own impulses of wanting to shove to the front of the line and to protect my turf and things like that. What's the ratio of human better nature as opposed to my fallen nature as you encounter people who are staying with you or at Frontera de Gracia? Are people cooperating inside, or no, you're in my corner, or how does all that work? Because I would think your impulse is to be gracious and generous, and then you encounter all of us, and that has to be hard, I would think.
Yeah. Thank you, Don. Thank you. Thank you for that question. It's hard. It is hard. But it's a blessing. I'm tired, but I'm happy. That's the nature of this ministry. Out of 50 people, there is one or two like, man, I was like, come on, really? But we have to learn that there is two couple out of 50 that they are making your life miserable. But you need to go back and then say, 48 people making your life amazing. You have to go back and forth to those feelings in order to carry on. In order to carry on every day, because they are frustrated too. You remember, you wake up and you see the wall there. Remind you that you are so close and so far from that last bridge. And they're desperate. But eventually, we are on Sunday, we need to rest. You need to rest. We need to rest in God. So this sanctuary become a worship time. And we take it a lot. And they say, oh, God, we need to rest with this. We are not the saviors. We are not. Jesus is the Savior of me and the ministry that you are supporting, which thank you. But we thank God that we are not the saviors. That is Jesus Christ who's like put in our heart the energy to continue and to continue to see these two and the 48 in that plane. So, but it's real. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for sharing about this very important ministry. It's great to learn about our new partner
Yeah.
in mission. Thank you very much, Angel.
Gracias.
Thank you. Yes, and to get you off to worship on time, I'll just quickly say, if you look at page 14 in your worship bulletin this week, you will see that our next 3-part series, October 8th through 22, is entitled Facing Christian Nationalism, Struggle for the Soul of the Church. So please join us next week. Thank you very much.